night, y'all. Good night, good night, good night. So, I'm back on again. I haven't been online for some time now. It's been really hectic, and I'm just taking one day at a time. I've been wanting to come on, but every time I say I'm gonna come on, something comes up. Something always comes up, right? Yeah, so I am here. I am just unwinding, you know, just trying to get my ducks in a row. Yeah, it's been really, really, really traumatic. You know, just doing my best to, remain solid. Yeah, but I just want to say, that you all gotta be careful, okay? Be careful of, trying to always trying to see the good in people. Even though, at times, you should try to see the good in people, right? But if the bad overweighs the good, then that's when you know that that person's not for you. Okay? If the good overweighs the bad, then you know that, the rest of flaws can be worked on, right? Because no one's perfect. And, sometimes it's good to, give people time and space to grow. You understand? Even though there's a lot of people, they don't want to change. They don't want to change for the better. They are comfortable in their toxicity. They are comfortable in their ignorance. And they just don't want to change. And these people, a lot of these people are people that you see with the same group of friends and family for many years, no matter if these people are not loyal, no matter if these people talk bad about them, they do them dirty, they still just want to have them around just to say they have friends or family, or just to say they have a crew. But they're not looking at the value, okay, and the quality of the type of people they keep around them. All right. And this is where they betray themselves, because they feel like the more people they have around them is the better. You know, a lot of people want to portray this image, like, yeah, I got a crew, when in reality the crew is not really I don't know why I was about to say gunning for them. Okay, so let me just say this. In reality, the crew may be gunning for them and they don't even know it. A lot of them know it, but they still have these people around when they know that these people are the enemy. You understand? This is why, you know, I say to myself, because I honestly don't trust the soul. You feel me? I may speak to people, you know, exchange one, two words, but at the same time, I still don't trust, them. You understand? Even though I try my best to, I am healing slowly but surely. But it's like, it's like no matter how much I try to trust people, it's like always something that makes me go back in my shell. Like, nope. I don't trust. Mm-mm. It's always something that made me crawl right back in my shell and be like, no, I can't trust because they've probably done something or said something that triggered me for me to be like, okay, this is the reason why I didn't trust you to begin with, right? And if people are trying to gain your trust, then they have to stand on their word. They have to be loyal. They have to give you reasons to trust them. You know, you can't be like, oh, you gotta trust me and this and that, but yet you're doing things to make me not trust you. That makes no sense. It's like you're pulling me towards you, but you're pushing me. You understand what I'm saying? You know. But yeah, as I'm saying, I'm honestly, guys, I'm tired right now. But I honestly feel like I just need to express because battling up my feelings inside is just gonna make me want to explode. Right? So I just feel like I have to come on tonight, right? But yeah, a lot of people don't listen to me. I do not play when it comes to cutting, okay, people off. I cut my own mama, my daddy, my whole family off just by moving left. You understand? Even though it took me some time because when you have that deep love for them and you grew with them, you grew up with them, you've seen them through, the struggles, the pain, everything. You've been there by their side from, you know, a child till now. It's like it's hard to let go, but you just have to look at, are they helping you to grow? Are they being a dead weight? Are they weighing you down? Are they reciprocating the energy? The energy that you're giving to them, are they giving it to you? Right? You have to look at it like, is this a one-sided, relationship? Whether it's a family relationship, a friendship, no matter what relationship it is. But you have to really evaluate it. Is it going to benefit you in the long run? Right? Even if it's short term, you still got to ask yourself, is this going to benefit me or everybody? Or, So, yes, I cut off a lot of people. They're mad at me. Saying that, oh, you're so cold, you're so this. Oh, really? Really? But what about all the times when I forgive everybody? I keep forgiving them, and because they know my heart, they know that I keep forgiving them. They never thought I would walk away. You understand? But the day I walk away is that day when they really realize, you understand? Just like one person, I won't say no names, said to me, they cried and said, now I know, like I never know what I had till it's gone. Because I was telling them, I was warning them, like, look, I'm gonna leave. I know it's painful, but I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna have to leave. Because if they're around my enemies, talking to my enemies and they're like, I cannot be around them like that. You understand? And they're using that person in order to get to me. And no matter how much I love them deeply, I have to love myself more than I even love them. And I just have to, cut ties. It wasn't an easy thing. It was really hard. I cried. Up to this day, I'm still crying, because it's painful. Just walking away from people you love, especially children you've raised from a baby, a newborn, till they're, in their 30s. It's really hard. It's not easy, but there has to be a time where you have to look at, you have to, what can I say? you have to, how can I say it? It's like the word is there, it's like at the tip of my tongue. I want to say it, but it's just not coming out. The art of detachment, right? You have to learn to detach and just look at it like, how can it's I know it's harsh. Okay, but I had to look at it like this. I had to force myself to look at it like this with tears in my eyes and a heavy heart. But I had to force it like like they died. You get me? I had to look at it like that. Vice versa, right? And trust me, even right now I feel like to cry, but it's not easy. But you just have to learn to just let go, right? And I found that when I done that, I noticed that even though things are chaotic right now, because there's a lot of haters messing with me right now, and a lot of, it's just a lot going on. But I noticed that when I let go finally, I noticed that there's no more problems. Well, not to say there's no more problems. There is, okay, because they've been causing problems. They still are, okay? But they can't reach me unless I allow them to. They reached out, they called, they text, they added me on Instagram, Facebook. They try to find me everywhere, even here. Talking to me in the comments, right? They try to reach out, but I don't respond. I don't respond. You understand? It's hard, it's not easy. But at the same time, I have to look at it like I love me more. I love me more. And, it reminds me of when I would say to, some of them, like, I love you. They'll be like, I love you too. I love you more. And I'm like, no, I love you more. I have to look at it like, now I love me more. You understand? So, yeah, I had to really put self love first. I had to really do that because it's like, I notice, not just me, but a lot of people said to me, I notice, like, you always bending your back for your family. You're always doing this for them, your friends, and doing so much for them, you know? But when it comes to you, it's like they don't want to reciprocate the energy. It's like jealousy and all that. So I say, you know what? I gotta face that reality. It's true. I seen it. I seen it. I called them out on it too. But I think it's the love, like the deep love, because I love very deeply. And it's genuine. It's not fake. I don't do fakeness. Okay? It's really deep. All right? And this is why I think it was hard. You know? This is why it's hard. Listen, this is why when it comes to like relationships and stuff like that, if I don't love you, I don't want to have sex with you. It's not gonna feel right. It's just gonna be like, oh, you understand? Like, I wouldn't want to waste my time, my energy, my body, nothing like that with somebody I don't love or with somebody that don't love me. And this is why I remain single and celibate. It's been like, what, 7 years now? Celibate, single. I always do that. Like, if I come out 444 on the timer. So if I come out of a relationship or, I go right back into celibacy. It's always been like that, right? Because you gotta take time to heal yourself. You understand? You gotta take time to heal. You gotta take time to figure out what you want. You know, there's people that they come out of one relationship and jump right back into a next one. Come off of one dick and jump onto the next one. You understand? Ain't nobody got no time for that. Got no time for that. I need time for myself. You understand? People they just go from one relationship to a next, to a next, to a next. It's like Hermit the Frog jumping from one to a next. You understand? But with me, I don't play. I don't play. You understand? I don't want nobody to bring me back no STDs or nothing like that. It's not even just that, but it's just the, you know, the love you have for yourself, that self-respect, that, you know? And not just that, it's like, I know it's kind of, a lot of people look at it like, whoa, well, you know, that's kind of a lot. But I feel like saving yourself for someone that you've never met before, I think that's a big thing. A lot of people can't do that, especially the men. They cannot do that. You understand? They'll be like, you know, they're single, but yet they're having sex with 3, 4 different women. You know, I've never met, you know, men that will be like, you know what, I'm celibate, I'm single until I find a woman that I feel is worthy of my body, of my time. I feel like men need to put more respect on their penis. I feel like they need to put more respect on themselves. Just like, you know, women do. Not to say there's not men out there like that. There is, but like 2 grain of salt, okay? That's how many men are out there like that. You understand? It's sad, but it's reality. Right? But just imagine how beautiful it would be if 2 people that has never met or seen each other before was single and celibate with the intention to say, I'm not giving my body, my time, my energy to anyone but the next person I meet. Just imagine both of them has that mindset, and then they come together, and you know how powerful, how beautiful that will be. You know, rather than you saving yourself, you're celibate and single for how many years, and then the other person is out there running the streets. You understand? Having sex with Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. You understand? While you're there saving yourself for them. Like, it's just, you know, I think it should be like that. I think people should wait, you know, save themselves for the person that might be the one. You understand? Yeah, you save up your energy and, you know? Yeah. But, yeah, as I was saying, back to, you know, the detachment. You know, a lot of people, as I said, a lot of people, they are afraid of being alone. They are afraid of the unknown. They're afraid of letting go of what's familiar to them. And this is why a lot of people say, no new friends. No new friends. And as I said before, these are people that you always see with the same type of toxic friends. They will never say, you know what, this person's not good for me. I'm going to cut them out. Not talk to them no more. I need some new energy, some new friends with good vibes. They just stick to what they know. And a lot of these people, same people that sit around in a group and talk about each other. I ain't about that. I ain't got no time for that. You feel me? You ain't got no time for that. And even if I do got time, I still ain't got no time for that. You understand? I tell it as it is. I will tell you right there and then, right in front of your face, what I need to say. But in these times, people wait until you get up from your seat and turn your back for them to talk about you behind your face. You understand? In these times, people are not genuine. They're not genuine. Just imagine how life will be if people are just genuine, like they just speak their mind, they just, they're mature about, constructive criticism. They're mature about someone telling them you talk too much or you kind of smell a certain way. I think you need to take a shower or, something like that. You understand? But yeah, honestly, I like when people tell me the truth because, as I would say, I'd rather be hurt by the truth than to be hurt by a lie. Not to say, not to really say I'm hurt by the truth because the truth is the truth. You shouldn't be hurt by it, but you should learn from it, right? But I want people to tell me anything. And it's up to me on how I want to take it. You understand? It's not what people say, but how they say what they say. It's not what they do, but how they do what they do. But it's up to you on how you want to perceive it, how you want to take it. They could say anything to you. You understand? But it's how you react to what they're saying. Some people will get defensive. Like, for instance, I remember I was young too. I remember there was this man, old enough to be my daddy, trying to get with me. I was like, what? I think 15. And we were in the car and we were driving. And I think we were going to pick up my cousins, my sister. And he was driving and, he touched my face. And I was like, can you please not touch my face? I don't really like when people touch my face. He got mad. He got really mad. He's like, you're so rude. You're feisty. You're this, you're that. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. It's my face. If I don't know what you're doing with your hands. Plus he's driving and he's multitasking. He's touching, all these different things. And I was like, majority of men, they will pee and not wash their hands, right? Or they will do something. You never know if they have a girl that they're feeling up or something like that, right? So I said those things to him, like, I don't know what you did with your hands or, where you put your hands. I don't know what you're doing with your hands. Plus you're driving and the steering wheel is dirty. And even though I told him how I felt, he still was defensive, saying that I was rude for being honest. And the way he was acting was as if he wanted to fight. And I was like, whoa. Wow. People can't be real in these times. It's just so simple. Especially when you explain to them and you let them know, why you said what you said, whatever. They still don't want to try to see from your perspective. You understand? And that was really sad. From that time, he stopped talking to me because he said that I was rude for telling him not to touch my face. It's just like a girl from school. She touched my hair, okay? And I said to her, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but I don't allow people to touch my hair. And this girl literally wanted to cause a problem just because I said I don't like, when people touch my hair. Even up to this day. right? Because you don't know where their hands has been. You don't know who is who. You don't even know if they're the enemy, right? And she told her friend, she said she doesn't like you because you told her not to touch your hair. How do you not like me? Because I'm telling you that I don't like when people touch my hair. You understand? It's like they don't respect boundaries. They don't respect honesty. It's like they want people to lie to them. You understand? You know, it's just sad. It's really sad. There's times where a couple days ago, there's a woman I just met, and I've never seen her before. I never spoke to her, and there was hair on her lip, like it was stuck to her lipstick. And I said to her, "There's hair on your lip." She's like, "Take it off." So I took it off. Some people will watch. This is to show you how people are so wicked, right? Some people will watch the hair on her lip for hours, sit down and talk to her for hours with hair on her lip, right? I'm the person I'll tell you, like, you got lipstick on your teeth. And I seen people that spoke to them before me, you know, and they never said anything to her. Like, you got lipstick on your teeth, right? And it took me to come to them after what three other people that spoke to them before me was literally sitting in that person's face, talking to them, but couldn't say, "Hey, you got some lipstick on your teeth." But it took me to tell them, "Look, you got lipstick on your teeth." And she's like, oh my God, thank you, thank you." You understand? This is to show you the level of, you know, maturity. Like, it's like, you know what? Honestly, I really can't blame people on a whole, really, that much. But at the same time, everybody's grown, Because it's like the world is like, it's like a stage. It's like you have to perform. You gotta fake it till you make it, right? I'm not that type. I think I gotta learn. I think I gotta learn from them. I'm not that type. I'm not about the fake shit. Let's keep it real, honest. If you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. Toodles. You understand? But what I notice is like you have to put on a mask. You have to put on a facade in order to survive in this world. You understand? And it's hard for me because I don't like fakeness. I don't like fake people. It's hard for me. But sometimes I feel like I have to try and learn to do that. But it's really hard. Especially in the work, area, like you have to be so fake, with the people that you don't even like or the people that don't like you. It's like, oh my God, hi. Oh my God, you look so beautiful when the person looked like a rag doll. You know? There's a time somebody said that to somebody. I'm like, why would you say that? Why would you tell them they look good when they don't? Tell them that, look, like what you're wearing, I think it looks kind of, off. To let them do better. Let them learn or, like, I don't know, man, but I'm looking for quality. You understand? Quality over quantity. All right? Quality over quantity. Um, yeah, so, excuse me, so wherever it comes to, you know, walking with a whole bag of hurdles, a whole bag of snakes, I'd rather walk alone. Because I know I'm not going to betray myself. I know I'm loyal to me. You understand? But you know, I had to cut off a lot of people, whole family, friends. And right now I'm looking for, well, not looking, but I will like, genuine people around me, real people, real to the core. No matter how much they tell you the truth, like it wouldn't really hurt you or shake you, or because it's the truth, right? So what you're gonna do, you're gonna change. You're gonna change for the better. You're gonna, acknowledge it, look into it. You know, you feel me? Sorry, I just seen a video. Oh man, sorry guys. I just seen something that seemed interesting. You understand? Yeah. Yeah. So the topic I seen was, it says an earth angel is being targeted. So you see, when you're authentic, you keep it genuine, people's always going to target you. People's always going to one up on you because you are real, you're genuine, and they don't know how to deal with you because they have not run across anyone like you before. So they feel you're foreign or you're a threat to them, so they have to put up their defense. You understand? Yeah. It's just the topic that I just seen just a while ago that, made me feel led to just, squeeze that in there. Yeah, but I don't know. People are draining, honestly. Like when I go out in like crowds and stuff like that, you know, it feels like an attack. Like it feels like way too much. Some more time I feel like, staying by myself. You feel me? I feel safer, you know, alone rather than with a crowd. You know, it's really sad. There's times I say to myself like, I wish that I had like hundred a hundred friends that are just, they're all genuine, they're all real to the core, right? There's no argument. Well, obviously you're gonna have disagreements, and but there's no backstabbing, there's no bad gossip, and if there is, everybody just say it to everybody's face. We're just real to the core like that. Like I wouldn't mind having a bunch of people around me that is just good vibe, you know, positive energy, and they're just really genuine people to the core. No deception, no nothing, but you can never find that in these times. Never. It's hard to even find one loyal person, much less 100, much less two or three. It's hard to find one genuine person. You feel me? But it will be really nice. It will be, good vibes and everything. You feel me? Yeah. But, yeah, sometimes you just gotta cut through the bullshit. Sometimes you just gotta cut people off and just, you know, even though more time you don't want to, but majority of the time they cut themselves off. You feel me? Yeah. But, I don't care to have like a crowd, as I said. I don't care to have a crowd. Or I don't care for attention, like negative attention. If it's positive, okay, fine. But too much attention, I don't like it, right? Um, but it's good to really pay attention, to the people you keep around you. Pay close attention. Because if you don't, you're gonna fall right into their trap. You know, a lot of people trauma bond because they have a trauma. They feel like they can relate. It's like, oh, you smoke, I smoke too. Oh, you drink, I drink too. Oh, you just came out of a relationship, I did too. Let's bond. In reality, sometimes it's not even a bond. It's not even, I don't know why I felt like to say it's not even a negative bond. It's not even a genuine bond. Sometimes because they feel like they have similarities. You smoke, they probably like, you smoke, I smoke, you drink, I drink, whatever. Okay, good, we have a bond. But it's not really a bond. They think it's a bond because they can relate, right? They think it's a bond, but it's not, you know? So sometimes people get confused. You understand? A bond is deep, it's a spiritual thing. It's unexplainable. I honestly feel like a bond is a real natural bond is where you can feel deeply, you know. Sorry guys, the video just cut. So this is a part 2 to part 1, okay? I'm not sure what I'm going to call it yet, but hey. So what a bond is, a true bond to me, okay? Everyone has their own perspective of what a bond is. But a bond is a deep spiritual connection, okay? That it feels like it's from, childhood days or from the past life where you guys met before, or there's just a strong mad I was about to say magnetic pull towards that person. You understand? It just flows naturally. You know how they feel without them even having to tell you how they feel. It's like you guys are in communication without even being in communication. It's like you feel like you can almost read their mind or know exactly how they feel without them even saying a word. You understand? So, bond is more spiritual and emotional than physical, right? But then the icing on a cake is also physical attraction, too. And that is what makes it even more intense. But it doesn't always have to be physical. You understand? But the spiritual, emotional aspect of it is most important, right? Um, yeah, and I feel like this is why a lot of people they have sex on the first date because they feel that magnetic pull is something like it's hard to really control or hard to deny or hard to um it's like how can I say it? It's like when you have two magnets, you're trying to pull the magnet apart, but it just keep clapping back together, like it just keep coming back together. It's like hard to pull away. So I feel like that's that bond that you just have that instant connection, with that person, or the first day of meeting them or seeing them. You just know, like your soul, your spirit knows. It's like you know them without even knowing them. You understand? But as I said before, a lot of people, they mistake a real genuine bond with trauma bonding. A lot of people bond because they both are traumatized, or they've both been through similar experience, right? So you guys got to be careful, right? Bonding with people it's not a genuine natural bond. Okay. Yeah. It's deeper. It goes deep. You feel me? Yeah. You know, it's like, can I say, kind of like, it's like a soulmate type of thing, you know? Yeah. And having a bond with someone doesn't necessarily mean it has to be a romantic, you know, in a romantic sense, but it could be, having a bond with your children, your parents, you know, your siblings. You can be soulmates with your children, your siblings, your parents also. People think it's just only, relationship wise. 444 again on the timer, right? But yeah, the thing is, within relationships, a lot of people, the reason why a lot of relationships don't last is because a lot of people spend too much time on the physical aspect, and they neglect the emotional, spiritual aspect, that deep connection, that, wanting to get to know the person on a deeper level, right? People base relationships based on money and sex. And this is why I say to some people, and they be like, yo, that's crazy, I can't do that. It's because they're only looking at a relationship on a sexual level, right? So when I be like, sometimes in relationships, like, people should take time out, like, at least, say like a month or two off, having sex or whatever, and just focus more on healing, focus more, even though sex is healing, but sometimes you have to, that's how you're able to strengthen your mind and strengthen, how can I say, like, doing that will help you to not be, lustful towards anyone else out there. It will make you more disciplined. I should say, yeah. It will make you more disciplined. If you can really do that with your wife or your husband, say, hey, I feel like we should take a month off having sex and you know, just working on ourselves and just connecting on a deeper level, you know, because the relationship is not about sex, right? So if two people are able to do that, go like a month without sex or two, and then after that, they come back together again and they finally have sex, you know how powerful that will be? It will be like it's the first time, you know? There's more excitement, there's, they will see things differently, than how they seen it before. Because it's like you're stepping away from, it's like stepping outside of a situation and looking in. the outside looking in, right? So you step away from it and then you come back to it. And then after, it's like you're seeing things from a different perspective, things that you've never even seen before. It's like a aha moment, like, ah, you know? Because once you do that, it's like you're recharging your energy, right? Because as humans, we have internal batteries, right? So once you do that, it's like you're recharging your energy, your sexual energy, and you're trusting that person. That person is trusting you, right? You are trusting yourself and divine timing, right? And as I said before, if they go out now, say like they go to a party with their boys, or they go, on a girls' trip or whatever, and they see, you know, the guys see some girls that, they're tempted to be with these girls, but within his mind, he'll be like, you know what? That the girls may be pretty, it may be sexy and everything, right? But if I was able to exercise, celibacy with my wife, then, I should be able to not even lust after these girls, because they practiced discipline, so now, that guy seeing other women is like nothing. He could just walk past a naked woman or go sit down in a strip club without even, wanting to have sex with them, because he's already, strengthened his mind and his urge for, lust of another woman. You feel me? Because he's been disciplined with his wife by holding out for a month. You understand? A lot of people can't do this. You understand? A lot of people, they're always having sex. All the time. Every single day, every single night. And this is why the relationship get boring. This is why a lot of people cheat. Because it's like, I'm bored. I want something new. I want to feel something new. I want to feel that brand new feeling. Right? They're tired of having sex with their partner because it's almost every day. All 3 times for a week or for the day. After a while you get bored. Right? Because it's just always that. You feel me? But as I said before, if you step back and then you come back, it's going to be like a brand new feeling. It's going to be like you're missing that person and you're missing that time with them, and then you get back with them and it's like, whoa. Even like having separate rooms. It's very good to have separate rooms from your husband or your wife, because that gives you guys time to really reflect and have alone time, right? Because everybody needs time to grow, time to heal. Everybody needs their privacy. You understand? Not because you're in a relationship or marriage with somebody, that doesn't mean that you have to be under their ass 24/8. You still got to give them space, right? And, boundaries, respect. And as I've said many times in a few of my videos, it's really good to, for married couples to have separate, or people in a relationship to have separate rooms, because that way it gives them time to miss each other. It also gives both of them, that opportunity to see that other person's creative side, especially the men. Like wherever it comes to the men, I noticed that the men don't really express themselves really wherever it comes to the bedroom, decorating and doing things the way they like it. It's always a woman doing the decoration, and you see her things, you know, but you're not really seeing the man's things, So if you give him that space and that time, to set up the room the way he likes it. That way you get to see his inner world. You get to see how he is, who he is, what he likes, his creativity, and he gets to see yours. It's like you're going into his world and he's going into your world. You feel me? And yeah, but that's just, a lot of people be like, no, I can't do that because he's gonna cheat, and I don't know what he's doing, or she's gonna cheat. Who knows if she's not gonna sneak a man in the house? Well, people can cheat anywhere. People cheat at work for 1 minute. They say they're gonna go on their lunch break and they go to the bathroom. Okay, and they have a quickie. People cheat in their car. Okay. And there's nothing that, people can really do about that. You just have to have faith. You just have to, you know, make sure that that person gives you every reason to trust them, right? You can't really, control that, you know. A man could be laying right beside you, 24/8, under you, inside of you, laying on top of you. And behind your back, he's texting another woman. So it doesn't really make a difference, does it? Right? Um, yeah. But, yeah. But, I think a lot of people should try that. Having separate rooms. Although some people can't really afford it. That's, understandable. But if you're able to part off the room, you know, his side is his side, your side is your side. If you feel like you need some time alone, you just part it off. Okay? And you do your thing over your side, he does his thing. And whenever you guys feel like you need to come back together and, connect, then you just, yeah, shift the curtain. What I notice is that a lot of people feel like just because they're in a marriage or a relationship, they feel like they shouldn't give their partner their privacy. They still need that respect. They still need their privacy. You feel me? They still need boundaries. You understand? A lot of people feel like they can disrespect the person just because they're in a relationship. It's like, oh, I already had you anyways, right? But you still gotta respect their boundaries. Not because you're having sex with them or you have kids with them doesn't mean they don't deserve privacy or peace or to be alone sometimes, or, you know, it's like that respect. I noticed that once people get into a marriage or a relationship, kids come in the picture, whatever, they lose that respect. And this is why relationships don't work, because they don't treat the relationship the way it was at the beginning when they just met. You know, it's like when you just meet somebody, you're so nice, you're so, you know, on your best behavior, and but then the moment you guys have sex, have kids, and all these, it's like womp womp. It's like everybody starts showing their true colors. You understand? Then you start seeing the disrespect. You start seeing the possessive controllingness and all of that. I'd rather see it at the very beginning, everything. So I know what I'm working with. You feel me? Yeah. Someone being too nice at the beginning, kind of alarm for me. Like everything is just too perfect at the beginning. Where there's no disagreements or no arguments, or, there is going to be arguments or disagreements or whatever. right? Um, if there's none of that, and it's just smooth sailing and it's just so perfect, you know that there's something coming. You feel me? You know something's, in the background, right? Yeah. There's situations where people, it's like the opposite. It's like, you see how, like, the beginning, it's all nice and I was about to say peaches and roses. Okay, let's use that. Peaches and roses. I usually say peaches and ice cream, right? And then boom, it goes on hill, like it's just chaos fighting, all of that. There's sometimes, in situations, situationship, relationship, whatever, where at first, two people are fighting, they don't get along, they hate each other, but then after, naturally, they just start understanding each other, they start compromising, they start working together, they start, and then it builds into a relationship, and then you start to see, what can I say, things getting better. You understand? Sometimes it happens that way too. You feel me? But sometimes it happens like that because the divine, God, make it happen that way to see how they would deal with, difficulties, certain situations. I don't know, but y'all know what I mean, right? But sometimes it happens like that because this just came to me. Sometimes it happens like that where two people will fight and argue the first time they meet. And that's because in the past life, they were already committed, they were already in a relationship in the past life, and they left off arguing. So in this life, it's like they, I was about to say finish what they started. In this life, it's like they're catching back up on where they left off in the past life, right? And that was them arguing. And then in this life, they solve the problem. You understand? So the problem had to be solved in this life because it probably wasn't solved in the past life. You understand? And I know more times I talk about past life, relationship, or whatever connection, and people get spooked out. They get like, well, what do you mean past life? But if you know, you know, right? So, yes, as I was saying, so sometimes you see things like that happen, right? And it's like, okay, so this is where we left off, and we have to learn a lesson. This is the lesson we have to learn because we haven't learned it in the past life. You understand? And you see, there's relationships where people, they just meet for the first time and everything is peaches and ice cream, right? Everything is going good, and there's a little misunderstanding, whatever, but they work it out like it's easy peasy. It's not a struggle, and that's because in the past life they've worked it out in the past life, and then in this life now they are coming back together, right? Because they are soulmates, they're twin flame or whatever, or meant to be, and they were supposed to continue on. You understand? And those are people that, are in marriages for like years. When you hear, about, your grandparents, they're telling you that they've been married for like, what, 50 years. You understand? Even though they had their ups and downs, but they still held on. You feel me? Yeah. But anyways, I am going to brush my teeth, and usually I'll take a shower or whatever, but I'm just tired. Then I am going to go to bed. I've been sleeping late lately, waking up late lately, and I need to really break that cycle. But yeah, let me tell you, it's hectic over here. Trust me. My whole sleeping schedule changed. My whole eating schedule changed. The whole vibe changed. You understand? So now I have to reset everything. So thank you all for watching. Have a good night, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in this world. Take very good care of you. Stay safe, and I will speak to you in my next video. Ciao.